distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the speaker because we are running short of time. So I will leave the floor with you, and we shall continue for 15 minutes with the question and answer session. The learned researchers are sitting on my right. I am sure they will deal with the subject very effectively. Please.
Good evening, sir. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Nala Kamal Singh, Commanding Officer of 12th Battalion in Gamunawach. It's not questions, some other comments, and I wish that as a senior hand, your comments also on these points that I'm going to highlight. The first, I'm going to talk about the fourth speaker, which some of the facts that she brought out is not in line with my thinking, so that if I want to comment on those. And first thing that, one other thing that she expressed, the police way of dispersal and the military way. It is very appropriate that if she could put it across, the police do the crowd dispersal at beginning, and then depending on the tension of the crowd, then followed by the military. That would have been more appropriate. And one of the point she mentioned on her recommendations, not to seek the assistance of the military. And it's very difficult to find anywhere in the world that the crowd dispersals are being controlled only with the assistance of the police, unless other than the reason is very minor one. So it will be a difficult task without assistance of the military presence. And also in Sri Lankan context, she was talking about special task force. Why the military was involved in the crowd dispersal mainly? We had some situation in Sri Lanka where these special task forces were involved in the crowd dispersal, and the civilians were trying to take the law and order into their hands. So that made a reason for military to get into the system of crowd dispersal. And also amendment of the existing system. Then again, we will go to a system where maybe few things will be amended. Even then, military and the police will be involving in the same thing. So I believe it is the way that we are handling should be changed, but system should not be amended. And finally, she was harping on employing on tactical officers, and it will be very difficult to find tactical officers, and it will be possible to see that how the officers handle the situation tactically. So these are a few of my comments, and I would like to have your opinion as well, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel. Please take your seat. This is a research, and she has presented her opinion only. We may have our own opinion and have observation also, and if she feels that the message that Colonel has given are more appropriate to incorporate, add or deduct, she is at large to take it. I have no prejudice, nor shall I comment on her paper, and it is your subject and you understand better. So since there is no question, it was more a comment and suggestion. We note it, and I am sure you have also noted for your future consideration. Thank you, Colonel. No answer. Next.
Sir, may I answer for that, if possible?
You want to clarify? That is his version. He may carry out another research on the subject.
Okay, sir.
Okay. We cannot go into dialogue on the research.
That's true.
We can ask a question for clarification. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, I'm Colonel Bodota. I will not have a question again. I just want to make 2 points. One is about the presentation that she did, and in that there were 3 recommendations made. I must tell you that 2 of those recommendations have already been made. The
Before?
first 2, yes.
Yes.
We must say that we have not done the collective training, police and army, but we have better coordination now after the incident that she herself mentioned, which maybe took place about 2 years back at Ratapaswala. So we have a better coordination, but we are yet to do joint training. But out of the 3 recommendations you gave, 2 have been already implemented. And when we come to the last one, last presentation about the employment of civil defense force. He elaborated how they have been employed right now, and also a few suggestions. I must tell you that we have to think of maintaining them as a paramilitary force also. So when maintaining, when we call them paramilitary, they must have at least some level of proficiency in military matters also. We should be able to use them in case of a requirement. So when proposing our employment in the future, we have to keep this point also in mind. Otherwise, just using them as a force or something will not give us that aspect, will not fulfill the aspect of maintaining them as a paramilitary. If you look at the regional, the other countries in the region, they of course have that point also in mind when employing.
I'm sure we and the researchers also understand the difference between military, paramilitary and police. So their role are distinct and different, and it is almost similar in most of the countries. When given a paramilitary role, the force has to undertake additional responsibility, and sometimes in some of the country, in terms of time of declaration of war, they come directly under the army or the armed forces. However, I'm sure the point is also noted by the concerned fellow, and you will definitely take this into cognizance. Do you like to say something or just note it?
No.
Thank you.
This is one correction has to be done. They are not under the Ministry of Defense now. They are under the Ministry of Law and Order. They were, but right now they are under the Ministry of Law and Order.
Thank you, Rapporteur, for highlighting the point which we would have possibly ignored. Any more question or comment? I think the audience is very happy. There is no hand. And as promised before, I am not taking a chance to really ask questions to the audience because that is beyond the norms. So we shall conclude. And before that, I should be very lavish in congratulating all the speakers for an outstanding job you have performed in studying the subject in a length, and also making your own research, presenting the theme and presentation to audience, and at least I would say I'm going back more mature than what I was before an hour. So there are many things new which is not practiced in my own country, because your army is more experienced in terms of counter-insurgency operation. They have seen all phases of counter-insurgency and insurgency, which is not possibly experienced by many armies of the world. So I would like to congratulate you for doing a very good job, very well done. You have talked about security, you have talked about development, and as I understand, the security dimension is very wide and very large, and development includes almost many things which I am going to include in my small summing up note. And without development, there can be no security. You have talked from the heart because you have talked about your own country, you have studied your own problem, given your own recommendation and opinion. And I'm sure you have submitted your paper. It is the authority to consider whether the recommendations will be taken or should be given for further research. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my turn now. And I am happy that after my speech, there is no question and answer session, so I can talk anything. And there will be no observation on what I say. We have heard the speakers, and it was very thought-provoking, as I said. Security has been the prime concern of individual groups and states. The task of providing security is devoted entirely to the state, as it is considered to provide necessary security against threat, which is external and physical in nature and impinged on the physical well-being of the state. The issue of people's security was considered as an essential element of good governance from holistic aspect. German philosopher Leibniz in 1705 expressed the need for the state to provide common security to the citizen. Mark Levy defined security under a broad definition which is synonymous with socio-economic well-being. National security is a holistic concept and goes beyond securing the physical space or guarding the national border, including the maritime boundaries. These days it entails dealing with non-conventional and asymmetric threats, which you have heard in other sessions also, like terrorism and extremism as well. The notion of security is often related to threat perceptions and realities. For long 3 centuries, empirical research was undertaken on security and international politics, and security was analyzed in the context of philosophical speculations. The traditional concept of using the historical political approach analyzed security in terms of power and peace. Nevertheless, the concept of national security has been redefined in the context of third world countries. The military, economic, political, societal, health, including some new dimensions of threat that had developed over time, illuminate alternative substantive dimension of security. These dimensions ultimately rely on the basic power elements of the nation state involving internal capabilities, external and internal threats, and external alliances. National security is inextricably linked with national core values and vital national interest. Security is, therefore, a multifaceted concept with multiple meanings. The concept of security has gone beyond the pale of traditional perceptions. A greater reliance is required to be placed on the right balance between diplomacy, military power, techno-economic capability, interdependent linkage, and participation in global institutional mechanism in order to enhance security through professionalism. Just before coming to Colombo, I attended a seminar in my own National Defense College where a point came up, what is taught in the National Defense College or National Defense University? Is it warfare or at operational or tactical level, how to fight a war? And the message was, no, we do not teach how to fight a war. We teach how to avoid war, how not to fight a war. So security here means when it teach is nothing to fight a warfare in the battlefield. It is something beyond. As I said, it involves many things more: economic security, health, hygiene, environmental security, and so many things which relates to human development. And as I said before, without development, there can be no security. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I extend my thanks to Vice Chancellor KDU and associated personnel for arranging this conference. This being the last session, it is my owner's responsibility also to express my gratitude to the esteemed participants, the audience, and the learned fellows who came here to present their paper. Thanks to everyone of General Sir John Cottrell Defense University for inviting us and bringing us together to understand and talk on a common forum. I am sure there will be many more subjects and events which we shall jointly organize at our own country and also in Colombo in future. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And as I promised, I wish all of you safe journey back home. Thank you.
So we will be presenting their certificates.
Thank you, sir. We have now reached the end of an immensely interesting session, and I believe we will all leave this auditorium with much food for thought. I would now like to call upon the session chair, Lieutenant General Sarvadi, to award certificates to the participants of this session. S. Satish Mohan. DGN Sanjeevani. Chelsea Lianage. KERL Fernando. AMDK Abekon. NC Karunaratne. Now I would like to call upon Professor Tilak Veerasurya, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, to present a token of appreciation to the session chair, Lieutenant General Chaudhry Hassan Sarwadi. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, with that we conclude the final session for the evening, Enhancing National Security Through Professionalism. Today, 22 researchers presented their findings, proposed policies, and highlighted gaps and lacunas that need to be filled under 4 very interesting technical sessions, and they were without a doubt intellectually stimulating. Now, to the moment some of you have been eagerly awaiting. That is, the award for the best paper on defense and strategic studies of the 8th International Research Conference. The task of selecting the best paper was given to an eminent panel of judges who have gone through a painstaking process of selecting the best paper. They have evaluated many elements, among which were presentation skills, time management, content, methodology, and marks were also given to the final paper, and that was 50%. After much deliberation, the best paper award goes to Admiral Jayanath Kolambage. Unfortunately, Admiral Kolambage is not here with us to collect his certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a knowledgeable and well-informed day listening to the presentations on a variety of subjects, which will assist in inculcating professionalism in defense for national development. As the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And this too must come to an end. The 8th International Research Conference organized by the General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University. I would like to take a moment to thank all the organizers who have been a part of this wonderful, amazing conference, without whom this would not have been a possibility. And I thank all of you for attending, and I'm hoping to see all, if not more of you at next year's conference as well. Now, to salute our motherland, I would request you to all rise for the national anthem.